Hello, hello viewers. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Uju. And I live here in the UK. I make tips on how to travel abroad, faith, lifestyle, and lots more. So if your first time of seeing my face, ensure you like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. So you'll be the very first to watch my videos whenever I upload new videos. Guys, today I'm gonna share with you my experience in the UK, work experience. So as you guys all know now, I live in the UK. I'm a microbiologist here. So but then I've worked in several places since I migrated to the UK. And at the moment I work as a carer. But before now, I worked in a warehouse. Yes, I worked in a warehouse. I also worked as a cleaner in a care home. I even worked in production, right? Food production. Yeah. Yes. That's DHL. Yeah. And now I'm working as a carer. But so I'm here to tell you guys the experience, how it was, if I actually liked it, and if I didn't really like it or like them. So you guys know that in the UK, we have different pattern of shifts. We have the morning shift, afternoon, evening, and night shifts. That's one very good thing about the UK. Unlike Nigeria, where you have just morning and night shift, or unless you are a nurse or a doctor. So, but you can be a cleaner and work as a cleaner in the morning, cleaner in the afternoon, cleaner in the evening, and cleaner in the night shift. So you can decide just work for 2 hours and you are done and you are okay. You can decide just work for 3 hours, five, and thereabout. So in my case, I worked as a cleaner during the afternoon shift. I worked as a warehouse operative during the midday warehouse. Yeah, I worked in a warehouse just for a short while. Then I also worked in the food production. That's DHL. I worked with uh, an agency for DHL during the night shift. Night shift. I was actually in the day shift. Then I migrated to the night shift. Then I work as a carer now, as a domiciliary carer. Then our shifts sometimes can be flexible. You can work in the daytime today, the next day, the next month, just the way you want it. But you're not forced to do anything you don't want to do. So, but one thing about the UK, unlike where I'm coming from, is that when they say this is a job is a job. Yes. When they say this is a work is a work. So I remember then my very first week in the UK in the warehouse. I worked for 12 hours, 12 hours stretch. Like you heard me well. Yeah, sure. When I say 12 hours stretch, doesn't mean you work from 6 to 6, but then I was at work from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Yes, I didn't go anywhere. So, but I had 1 hour break. Yeah, I had 1 hour break. So, and not once, I had it 30 minutes, then 20 minutes. The 30 minutes was non-paid break. The other 30 minutes was also non-paid break. Then the 20 minutes was paid break. So that was it. My dear, my very first day wasn't easy. I, I, I just can't explain my experience then, but it wasn't easy at all. Imagine coming from Nigeria, where you work for just say 6 hours, and you gone, and sometimes you go for break 1 hour. So sometimes you just tell yourself, I better go, let me go rest, and you rest. But here, you don't sit. Working as a carer in Nigeria, you sit to do most of your jobs, except maybe I worked in the office setting, so I sat most times to do my job. Except for the nurses and the doctors who are always in the theater, standing and the rest. And even still, when you stand, you still come back and sit. Yes. So, but then in the UK, if you're at work, you're at work. You are not allowed to use your phone. Yes. You are not allowed to make calls. You're not allowed to make calls. You're not allowed to use your phone except during breaks or emergency. Like, say you have an emergency, you're expecting a call, then you let your line leader know, you let your manager know, you let your supervisor know. But you don't just pick calls in the middle of a call or middle of a duty. No, 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 no. It's a no, no, no in the UK. But in Nigeria, that's how we find it there. Yeah, and employers, employers, they know it, and so you know the work in the UK and Nigeria is not the same. So if you're coming to the UK, just prepare your mind. Know you're going to work for 6 hours stretch without touching your phone. Whatever set hours you've signed in, you're going to work for such hours without touching your phone because your employer has actually calculated your productivity, your outcome for the set hours. So when you just have to deliver. So another thing again, we work in the UK. Some may say the work in the UK, you just have to give in your best. And but I tell you, to me, the work in the UK, some may say it's stressful, but me, I don't see it as stressful because at the end of the week or at the end of the month, you get your remunerations. So nobody tells you story. Nobody come to tell you or we are running at loss, we can't pay salary or stuff like that. No. And as a Nigerian now, so when you receive your pound and you change your pound to naira, the money gives you encouragement. So sometimes you see people not happy whenever their shifts are being cancelled. That's just the reason. So you ask people, why do you always want to go to work and you're complaining? That's it. You go to work because when you get the money helps you to, pay your bills. And when you exchange the money to your local currency, the money is something big. And so that's why we are still working and we still want to be in the UK, right? And we still love the job in the UK. And you hear us complaining whenever we don't get shift, whenever we plan for shifts and we don't get shift. So another thing about working in the UK, my very first day in the UK, my very first day, and my very first day at my workplace in the UK here, I was shocked, guys. They actually kept tea. When they say tea in the UK, tea does not mean like the Milo or Bonvita. No, no, no. Tea means Lipton, like the tea bag. Yes. So what they call Milo and Bonvita here, what we know as beverage in Nigeria is called hot chocolate. So when you come to the UK, please don't say tea, it's hot chocolate. Yes. So, but they actually have all these things, bread, depending on the setting, snacks for their employees. I was so shocked. Like even the microwave is there for you to microwave your food. That's if your food is cold, and that's it. And you have the heater. You can actually make something if you forgot to bring your food to work. So they actually make their employees very very comfortable. Such that you always want to go back to work, such that you always want to go back. Always longing to go to work. So their holidays are being calculated. They have a way they calculate holidays in the UK. Like if you work every day, like say you work 40 hours in a week. Sorry, you work 40 hours in a week. My son was crying. Sorry. You work 40 hours in a week. If you work for 2 full weeks, you have a day off. If you work for certain hours in a week, let's say you work for 3 hours in a week, just there's a way they calculate it. So you just have to be familiar with the way your company calculates their holidays, and you have to take your holidays within 365 days, within 366 days, or else when you get into a new year, that will be wasted, that will be gone. So you have to take your holidays. The working system is so designed in a way that you have to rest. So unlike what we have in Nigeria, where we only have holidays during, so maybe you work in the office, you have holidays on Saturdays and Sundays, and during festive period, bank holidays, and so that's when you have your holidays. No, that's not what it is in the UK. So you have your holidays packaged in a way that you still go to work during Christmas period, as if your duty falls. If you are on duty during those days, you have to be at work because you will have your holiday some other time. So I don't know how to explain it, but I'm sure you understand when you come to the UK, right? And one thing about the UK is that your employer will always want you to be cheerful, doing your work happily. You don't need to frown, you don't need to carry a long face. So you need to enjoy your job. They always ask you, "Are you right?" You say, "Yeah." Do you love your job? Do you like what you're doing? You're gonna say, "Yeah, yeah." So remember, that's what is paying your bill. So you should be happy doing the job. So that's it. Another thing about UK work is that there is no lateness. So you are only paid for what you work. So if your set time is 6 o'clock and you come by 7, if you're lucky, your employer will actually start counting from there. But if lateness is always repeated by you, then you may have to answer some queries. So they don't joke with time. There are timeless people. When they say this time, they maintain that time. Work is set by that time. If the machines are not ready, they will communicate to you. If the equipment are not ready, they will communicate to you still. So that's it. So as a healthcare care worker, they expect you to actually be in your right state of mind. You have to give your best. You don't have to be careless. You just have to know what you're doing. You have to be articulate in your words. You know how to speak well. You just have to be somebody someone can trust their life into their hands. Yeah, imagine you giving medications, taking care of feeble people, people who are sick. Imagine you work in the food production where you make food that people eat. So you just have to maintain good hygiene. You don't do certain things. So as a care worker, you just have to be of good conduct. So if you're coming to the UK, even as a cleaner, you have to be of good conduct. You have to obey the rules and regulations that guide that company. Another thing I have to mention is that back there in Nigeria, when they hear you work with agencies, that one I shall say they work. So, but yeah, in the UK, most times people like to work with agency because they pay you weekly. Yeah, they pay you weekly. You get your money weekly, unlike the contract job that they pay you every month. So, with the agency job, they pay you weekly, and they don't get to owe you. You can actually cancel shift at any time. Very flexible. You can actually jump from one employer to the other, and that's it. So that's one thing with the agency job. So like mostly everybody, let me just say everybody in the UK work with the agency, and it's something cool. Sometimes they pay the agency staff more than or sometimes they pay them almost the same thing they pay the staff of any company. So if you see someone saying, "Well, I work with an agency," don't think the person is not doing a good job. Don't think the person is not doing the right thing. Yeah. So this like very little experience in the UK working as a warehouse operative. You just have to give in your best. You just have to be emotionally strong. You will stand for hours working. You have to be fit. You stand for hours working, and once you enjoy your job, you don't see anything wrong in it. If you work in the food production, the same thing. There is money in the warehouse, yeah. You get your money, you get good pay. You just have to give in your best. You just have to be healthy. As a care worker, same thing. As a domiciliary worker, you move from one home to the another, go to people's houses, take care of them, learn a lot of things while taking care of them too. So as support worker, you take care of people, you support them to live their daily lives. So if you work in a care home, same thing. Some people work in a care home for 12 hours straight shifts. So if you work in a care home, you just have to have that in mind that you're actually going to be at work and you have to give in your best for the set hours. So whatever work, the summary of what this video is that whatever work you're coming to do in the UK, you that want to come to the UK, please just prepare your mind that the job in the UK is actually a job. So if you are coming to work, you take your work seriously and don't play with your job. So thank you so much for watching my video. I'd like to see in the comment section your experiences and what do you think working in the UK is like. Do you think you can cope working 12 hours stretch, working overtime? Because sometimes you take overtime. It's not a must. They don't compel you to take overtime, but then if you check your schedules and you check yourself and you see that you need some more pay, then you go for overtime. Overtime, the pay for overtime is not in most companies, it's not same as the normal pay. Like back then in DHL, the company I worked with in DHL, so they pay us like half the same salary, then half of what um the actual pay was. So some companies will say £1 extra, some will say £5 extra, depending on the agreement you signed with the company. So but then overtime is good, but a lot of things come with overtime. So you just have to check yourself. And this is the end of the video, guys. I just want to keep this video so short. I don't want it too long. Thank you guys for watching. I promise to give you guys more tips. Take care.